So, you want to be a confident public speaker? Let me guess, you have a big speech coming up, and you'd rather wrestle a crocodile than stand in front of a crowd. No worries, you're not alone. Public speaking is, ironically, the one thing most people would rather die than do. That means at funerals, they'd rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. Makes sense, right? People say that to be good at public speaking, you need to just be confident. Yeah, thanks, genius. That's like saying, to fly, just grow wings. Very helpful. But confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And today, we're going to break it down step by step so that next time you step on stage, you're not shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. So why are we so afraid of public speaking? Fear of public speaking isn't just about standing on stage and looking silly. It's deeply wired into our brains. Back in the caveman days, if a bunch of people stared at you, it probably meant you were about to get eaten by a lion. Fast forward to today, and our brains still think an audience equals imminent danger. Plus, we're scared of judgment. We think, what if I mess up? What if they laugh? What if I forget everything and just stand there like a statue? The truth is, no one is born a great speaker. It's a skill you develop, just like driving a car or cooking a decent meal without setting off the fire alarm. And that brings me to Joe. Meet Joe. Joe used to be terrified of public speaking. He was the guy who sat in the back of the room, hoping he'd never have to say a word. During group meetings, he'd avoid eye contact like his life depended on it. And once, when asked to introduce himself in a workshop, he panicked, blurted out his hometown, and then completely forgot his own name. But here's the thing. Joe's job required him to start leading presentations. He had no choice but to face his fear, and that's when everything changed. Let's talk about how Joe conquered his fear and how to overcome public speaking fear. Understand that fear is normal. Even experienced speakers feel a little nervous before stepping on the stage. The difference is they expect it. Your body reacts the same way to excitement as it does to fear. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and adrenaline kicks in. Instead of seeing this as a problem, use it to your advantage. Acknowledge the fear. Write down your specific fears, e.g., I'll forget my lines or people will judge me. Seeing them on paper can make them feel more manageable. Reframe your mindset. Replace, I have to give a speech with, I get to share my ideas. Focus on your message's value. This topic matters and I'm the best person to explain it. Tell yourself, I'm not scared, I'm excited. That small mental shift can make a huge difference. Know your topic inside out. Confidence doesn't come from wishful thinking, it comes from preparation. If you know your topic well, you won't panic if you forget a line, because you'll still understand the core idea. Joe learned this the hard way. His first big presentation, he memorized everything word for word. The problem? He forgot one sentence, panicked, and everything fell apart. So, instead of memorizing, focus on understanding. Use bullet points, know your key messages, and be able to explain your topic in multiple ways. If you truly know your material, forgetting a word or sentence won't derail your speech. Practice, but smartly. Bad practice equals standing in front of a mirror, reciting your speech like a robot. Good practice equals simulating real situations. Try these methods. Record yourself, film your speech, watch it, cringe, it's normal, and then improve. Practice in front of friends. Get used to speaking in front of real people. Use a timer. This helps you stay within your time limit. Practice under pressure. Stand up in a coffee shop and recite your speech quietly. If you can handle speaking near strangers, you can handle a real audience. Joe started small. First, He recorded himself. Then he practiced in front of a friend, then a small group. Each time it got easier. Start small and build up. You wouldn't go from never running to competing in a marathon, right? Public speaking is the same. Start by speaking up in small meetings, leading a discussion in a group project, giving a short toast at a dinner with friends. Joe's first step: he started raising his hand in meetings at least once. Then he volunteered to introduce a speaker at a company event. Eventually, he led full presentations. Small wins build confidence. Learn to control your breathing. Nervous speakers tend to talk too fast, run out of breath, sound like a robot on fast forward. The fix: the 4-4-4 method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Joe swore by this technique. It slowed his heart rate, made his voice more controlled, and stopped him from hyperventilating. Reframe the audience in your mind. Instead of thinking, "They're judging me," try thinking, "They're just people who want to hear something useful." Joe used a funny trick. He imagined the audience as friendly potatoes. Weird? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. It made him relax and stop taking things so seriously. Another trick? Focus on helping, not impressing. If your goal is to deliver value, you'll feel less self-conscious. Use the power of pauses. Beginners rush through speeches like they're running from an explosion. But pauses create impact. Before a key point, pause to build suspense. If you forget a word, pause instead of panicking. After a joke, pause and let the laughter land. Joe learned that pausing makes you look more confident, even if you're faking it. Start with a strong opening. The first 10 seconds set the tone for your entire speech. Instead of, "Good morning, my name is," try a joke. Public speaking is like skydiving, except you don't get a parachute. A question: what's your biggest fear? Spiders, heights, speaking in front of people. A shocking fact: did you know 75% of people fear public speaking more than death? Joe started his first big speech with humor. The audience laughed, and just like that, his nerves disappeared. Accept that messing up is normal. Even the best speakers make mistakes. The difference? They don't freak out. If you stumble on a word, laugh it off. Lose your train of thought, take a pause and continue. Forget a section, move on. Joe's biggest lesson: the audience doesn't care about small mistakes. They care about your message. Why do you have to master public speaking? It makes you look like a leader. It helps you sell ideas, products, and even yourself. It boosts your confidence in all areas of life. Joe, a year after his first awkward introduction, he gave a company-wide presentation. And guess what? People actually listened. Final thoughts. Next time you feel nervous before speaking, remember, the audience is not a pack of hungry lions. Fear is just adrenaline. Use it to your advantage. Confidence is built, not born. And hey, if this helped, subscribe, like, and share. Otherwise, you might find yourself giving an impromptu wedding speech